If all good things must come to an end, then what about great things? Do great things have a demise, or do they just change form? When great things involve great minds and great people and a great mission, greatness emerges. And 30 minutes from now, when the last line of credits scroll its way to the top of your screen, I can honestly say, this thing was great. I can also honestly say, you witnessed greatness. And a pleasant good evening to you and yours. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is our final broadcast of the 30. I'm your host, Joshua Short, and tonight we step into the time machine as we bring back some familiar guests who have helped put this show on the map. Also, throughout tonight's show, we count down the show's top 5 best moments, and in a few moments, we will announce someone as the show's best Columbia student guest. All that and more coming up, but we begin with a short circuit. Now, none of this would be possible without our guests and the unsung heroes and heroines you don't see on camera. One of those people is sitting right next to me right now. She actually should be in the control room, but I'll let her slide right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the producer of the 30 from episode 1 until now, Robin Miner is at the desk. How does it feel sitting here at the desk for the first time?
Weird.
Weird.
Super weird. I don't like being on camera. I like being behind the camera.
Okay, for those who did not hear the story at all, explain the process that we took to create the show from the very beginning. If you can remember, because it was a while ago.
It was a while ago. So me and 3 of the other producers, they are now graduated students, got together and we're like, we need to make a talk show.
Right.
And you and this girl named Trinity both helped us with the Halloween Gathering Parade.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, they are great hosts, they can talk, they bounce off each other.
Absolutely.
So we came to you and we're like, we want to create a talk show for you. And you were like, of course.
Yeah.
So we got together in a room and just basically like spitballed ideas, brainstormed. You brought up the word, the 30, and it kind of just tumbled from there. There's a selfie of us actually of that day, and
me, you, and Allie, I think, right?
I think it was me, you, Sydney, Michaela, and then one of our other coworkers at the time, Edward, is in the background, just kind of like popping up and stuff.
Just being ignorant as always. But I think it's interesting you said that, because it started off with just some random stuff that me and Trinity was doing, and it was important to note that Trinity, one of my other colleagues and a great student here at Columbia, she was super busy. She wasn't able to do the show, so you said, okay, well, can you do it? And I said, I think so. And this is my first little, big gig, so I appreciate you even coming to me about it. But talk about what happened since then. We've done so much together, and Chris and Nikki, upstairs, they've helped us really bring the show to life. What have you gotten out of the experience?
Oh, I guess I've gotten a lot of experience, I guess I would say, in networking and connections. It's an honor and just amazing to be able to create a show. Yeah. And to be able to start from the day we meet and say, what do we want our next episode to be about? Do we want it to be about gun violence? Do we want heroes? Do we want it to be, what was our last episode about?
Oh, shoot, I forgot. Passion.
Passion, yes. We have so many different themes we've talked about, and do you start with the idea of this is our theme, and then we work from going and getting a Columbia student, a Chicago person, and then someone that can apply to the nation as a whole.
Yes.
And we have to find so many people. It is hard to find people here. It is so hard to find guests. I love our guests. They've been amazing. We have 2 guests here who have been some of my favorite guests that you guys will hear from later today.
Because they like to retweet and like your stuff, so stop it. Stop it.
No.
Stop the pimp. No, I mean, I think it's safe to say that leading up to the show, it's probably the most stressful, and then once every guest is in the studio, is finally everyone can breathe out and exhale, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing that's important. So, with all of that said, I'm graduating, but you'll still be here.
You are graduating.
Well, I know. It's just sad. I know. What are you doing now? What's next? What can you tell us? Is it anything that you got going on planned? Are you producing anything else, maybe?
So we wanted to possibly continue the 30, but there's no one to replace you. So
come on, stop.
There's no one that works.
I did not tell her to say that because, see, you get me in trouble. I didn't tell her to say that at all.
No, he didn't.
But no, it's one of those things where, I mean, you've done a lot. We've got directors and everyone upstairs who I wish can all come down here, but then we'd had no show. But I mean, we've all done a good job. What is your best, and this will be my final question to you, what is your best memory, moment, and we're going to go down our favorite moments later on in the show, but what is your specific moment with me that stands out? And I know I didn't prepare you for that question, so if you can't think of the answer, don't worry about it. But what is something that has stood out to you like, wow, I'm responsible for this?
I would say our last episode, actually. I think our last episode went so smoothly. We had, our lighting director, Allison, is great, and she is just, I love what she does for stuff, and she works really hard and has been able to do so much for us. But our last episode, the lighting was great, our shots were great. Yeah. She got the lighting done in like an hour for it, and it looked beautiful. Our director, smooth. Nick was smooth with everything. Our TD at the time, Jack, was amazing. Our audio person, Mike, was amazing. Everyone was just fit for their positions and knew exactly what they were doing. And we were done like an hour and a half to 2 hours before we were supposed to be done.
Wow. And
it was amazing. I didn't feel stressed the entire time of that episode. And afterwards, I was just like, wow.
Except when she texted me at like 12, like, where are you at?
Well, you always come late.
Yeah, I always come just like, hey, I'm asleep. I'll be on my way in a little bit. No, Robin, I mean, seriously, I'm totally indebted to you to this day. I don't know how none of this would be possible without you. So we thank you so much. Everybody upstairs, we thank you. Mom, I thank you. I don't know why I'm thanking her. And anyways, all that said, seriously, you made the show what it is today, and our viewers who watch it really appreciate it, so we thank you so much, Robin.
Thank you.
All right, so as you know, we here at the 30 decided to pick the best Columbia College Chicago student who was a guest on our show. Now, before we announce who he or she is, take a look at this.
I think when we use the term victim, it makes those people victims.
They don't give much credibility to the Oscars anymore, seeing as they don't feel like acknowledging talent in people who aren't white.
All of these things seem to be working against them when the system is supposed to be there for you.
You know, I disagree with a lot of people that think comedians are like the biggest winners of this election.
Just what a healthy relationship looks like and what an unhealthy relationship looks like, which is not something that is talked about in schools.
He has a right as an individual, as all of us do, to question that foundation.
People are angry, but they don't know what to do, and this is a place to like come together, speak your mind, and let's work together and do something beneficial.
So, without further ado, her name is Bree Bracey. She was a guest during our first season, episode 2, and we've since brought her back earlier this season as well. And there you can see a picture of us right there behind me. Now, her constant will to inform our audience through her passion on and off campus permeated the thickest of barriers. We ask that you continue to use your platform on campus and throughout the rest of the city to spark change and initiate conversation. Bree Bracey, we thank you. All right, coming up, we highlight guests who represented Chicago's best.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back. Now, over the last 3 seasons, we have featured guests from throughout the Chicago area. Each of these guests are currently making an impact on the city of Chicago. Now, some say Chicago's losing its shine, but these guests still have hope. Our number 5 moment. Take a look.
It definitely can get better. You know, what we have to do is we have to reach back within the community and actually talk to those within the community, such as a person like myself that really knows what's going on.
First and foremost, we got to get back to the basics of being a parent. I mean a strong parent. The type of parent that I can look at you and you'll straighten up. Look you in your eye and you'll straighten up. I don't have to raise a hand at you. Get back to parenting. Put the blunts down. Take time for your kids.
With the disease, I've been a big advocate for them. I love talking with anybody who's supporting cancer, any cancer, because, one thing versus when I was first starting around 17, 19, I was just colon cancer. I mean, I added, at some point, researched breast cancer.
They got their message across, and that's how they showed the politicians, the elected officials, and the police officers that they're dissatisfied with the leadership in their city, that they cannot take it anymore, not only as African Americans, not only as Caucasians, but as human beings in that city, in that state. They are fed up with what's going on.
And back with us today, Lamond Recorder is on the show. Lamond, welcome back, my man.
Josh, thank you for having me again.
You've been here, since you've been here, you've done so much stuff. And we'll talk about it in depth in just a second, but I want to start off by saying congratulations, you got an automatic run going on, and you got a lot of support for your community. What ward is this for people who are watching at home so they'll know?
Well, so I'm running for alderman in the 7th Ward of elections 2019.
Okay.
And I'm not just encouraging myself to run for alderman, but I'm encouraging a lot of young people in the city of Chicago to take a chance to be in the seat in city council.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the city of Chicago, you look at what we're going through on a regular day basis, it's the simple fact that the problem starts with the people in the community, and what's in between is the elected officials and the police officers. So we have to be the change we want to see. If we are tired of our aldermen, we are tired of our mayors, our governors, we have to be the change we want to see in our communities, and we got to run for office, and we need to replace the seats of city council.
And I said this the first time we had him on the show. I will reiterate, he's only 18. People don't realize this dude is just 18 years old, and he's doing so much. Let's talk about the last few months for you. You've been doing a lot of things, especially going viral.
Yeah.
And you've gone viral before, but this for a different reason. You have been seen after, tragic murders, tragic shootings in your community, mopping, sweeping, cleaning streets, cleaning stores where these murders, these shootings have occurred. And you've since been on HLN, CNN, WGN here locally. Explain the last 2 months. Man, you've been doing too much.
Well, for the past couple of months, I've just been going harder and harder when it comes to activism, being an organizer in the city of Chicago. And the reason I went viral is because in South Shore, March 30th, we had about 9 fatal shootings within 12 hours in the 8-block radius. And the 4 people that got shot on 75th and Coles, the pregnant woman, she was shot in the head on 75th and Llewellyn. There was 2 people shot, 71st and Yates. There was another guy shot on 79th and Phillips. So, there was so much going on in one day. But I was cleaning the blood up, after the 4 people got shot in Nadia's Fish and Chicken restaurant off 7500 block of Coles in the South Shore neighborhood. And I just wasn't seeing cleaning that blood up there, but I was also seeing cleaning blood up.
Yeah, plenty of
on,
places.
on 71st and Yates. But the reason I did that is because I do not feel as if our children should have to see that.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have to see that blood on the ground. They should not have to see the blood on that floor to remind them of what happened, a couple of days ago, what happened last week. And ain't no telling how long that blood could have been on that ground or could have been on that floor. So we got to stand up in our communities. We got to hold ourselves accountable.
And it's tough because that's where I grew up. That's where I was raised, South Shore neighborhood. And so when I saw this, I'm like, what is going on there?
Right.
And then I see this kid, I'm like, this dude look familiar. His hair grew a little bit, but I see him now mopping up these tragedies, these locations where, there should not be a loss of life.
Right.
A eatery, a place where you eat, you dine, and you enjoy life, and you have this happening. So the fact that you're doing all this stuff, it means a lot to so many people. What has been the response for you, though? Because I know there's been, everywhere you go, there's always some controversy. Why is he doing this? Shouldn't the police be doing it? How have you endured and how have you persevered the last few months? Because you've been busy.
Yeah, so the responses I've been getting from people across the United States of America and even across the world, I should say, has just been nothing but positive messages, uplifting and motivating messages. But, to the people who are saying that they support me and they're saying, congratulations or great job or good work in Chicago, keep up the good work.
Yeah.
When it comes to being an activist and an organizer, activist and an organizer needs more support than people just talking,
Absolutely.
you know, on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat. We need the people in the community with us and actually stopping violence from it taking place, actually preventing violence from it taking place. We need the people out of their homes and we need them into their communities.
I mean, we could go on forever about what you do and how you do, but I just want to end this by saying, what is the goal for you? What do you want to have accomplished when your life is done? And that'll be a long time from now,
Yeah.
maybe, but you do so much. What do you want people to say about Lamond Record?
The Lamond Record was a young man from the city of Chicago that uplifted the chains, the shackles, and the handcuffs of poverty of black people.
And you're just 18.
It's 18.
And you're still doing this. And again, you'll see him around the city, not just South Shore, but you do so much work. And we appreciate it. I know people in your community appreciate it. Lamond, thank you
Definitely.
again for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
He's a busy man. He's only 18. All right, so coming up, we broke our social media record for a Facebook Live video that had everyone buzzing. Our next guest had the notifications popping and everyone talking. That's next.
Son, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
All right, so my next guest set the tone on this show and on Facebook Live last season after he voiced his opinion on the Colin Kaepernick's national anthem situation. That fiasco was just a lot, and people to this day are still talking about it. Now, we had our highest ever Facebook Live audience, and here are the final numbers. Check this out. Over 1,000 post views, 46 likes, and that's not including the several likes of the 32 others who shared the post, and several comments to boot. Stan Anderson is back here with us as our number 4 moment, and we want to know what was the response that you got, because I saw some of the comments. People were like, good job, Stan. Some people said different, right? I know it's a lot.
So first off, thank you for having me again, and I'm very proud of the work that you're doing, that you continue to do, so I wish you well in your future endeavors.
Thank you, man.
I'm looking at the Facebook Live post. The conversation was a conversation that was very delicate, but it was something that needed to be discussed. Colin Kaepernick, I was reading something earlier today in which Time Magazine voted him one of the top 100 most influential people. So that's, again, it goes back to the conversation in terms of something that needed to be addressed. And the conversation that we had, it was a way for us to put the information out there in a way that people were able to digest it, to get them to think.
Yes.
More often than not, we get stuck in our side, we get stuck in our point. Our view is our view and our point is our point, because that may be the way that we've been raised, or that may be the experience that we've had, and that we don't know anything else. We don't know any different. And I think the conversation, the dialogue that we were able to have, it allowed people to think about an opposing view that they may not otherwise have been able to take on.
Yeah, and I think it was a quote you said during the show, which everyone loved. It was, I think you said affirmation or.
So one of the things that I've been, over the last year or so, have been really concentrating on as I meet with people and I talk to people about different social issues, whether they're in agreement or disagreement. One of the things I've been stressing is information over affirmation.
What does that mean? That's just dope to me. That's all.
So more often than not, especially in the age of social media, what I've seen is people are looking for affirmation. So they may post something, they want to get X number of likes or X number of comments that will affirm their point of view. Right or wrong, they want that affirmation. However, the information, we live in a day and age of information, and the information is available to us. And if we can challenge the people that don't think like us, don't look like us, don't move like us, don't believe like us, with information that may get them to think beyond the box, beyond the scope, beyond the lens that they look at things through, then that's when we're able to provide them with information.
So we last time we talked, I can't remember, I think this was right after or right before the election. In your opinion, what's going on now? What should be going on? What is the difference in what we've seen, the first 100 days in President Obama's presidency and now in Donald Trump's presidency? I just want to hear that opinion real quick.
So real quick, I think that we are honestly, I think America needed this election.
Okay.
I think America needed this presidency because I think and I say we as a country,
absolutely,
had gotten somewhat complacent in our views and our opinions and our thoughts.
Okay.
There are a lot of things that happen in our country that are stains on our legacy for the future generations.
Absolutely.
And I think more often than not, if it doesn't affect us directly, then we tend to ignore it. I use this analogy.
Yeah.
If you have a stain on your shirt,
okay,
just because I don't say anything about the stain doesn't mean that the stain isn't there. You may walk around with it for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, the stain is still there. It's not until someone says, wow, you know what? That stain is on your shirt, that it brings it to the forefront, and now you have to do something to change that. And I think this election has done that. It's brought some of the hot topic issues that have been plaguing our country for decades now to the forefront again, and have some heated discussion, but some discussion that needed to happen, that needed to take place, because it's not an easy discussion to have.
Exactly.
And I think that's why people have avoided it over the past years.
Yeah, talking about it is just tedious for a lot of people now. I don't know if you could talk too much about it, but you are working on something where you can actually, it's like a soapbox. You voice your opinion, and it's literally unfiltered stuff. Talk about that for a little bit.
So after our engagement here, after our conversation, many people just said, you know what, I got a lot of private messages, text messages, a lot of outreach saying, wow, you know what, whether they agreed or disagreed, it gave them something to think about.
Right.
And the fact that they were able to even take into consideration some of the points and some of the thoughts that I put out there, it let me know that I need to develop a platform to increase my outreach.
Right.
So right now, I'm working on a concept called Straight No Chaser Talk.
Okay.
Ooh, excuse me, I shouldn't have brought the gum on set.
No, it's fine. No problem. That's you. That's his personality.
Yeah.
He can get away with it.
But you know what? I am who I am.
Yeah, there
I'm
you go.
unapologetically me.
There you go.
So Straight No Chaser Talk is unfiltered, my thoughts on social issues, hot button topics that we deal with every day.
Right.
Everything from racism to violence, issues relating to women's rights.
Right.
You name it, I talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'll give you my opinion, unfiltered, in 2 to 5 minute segments. I've got a page on YouTube. I have a Twitter account that I'm working on. I'm actually working with a company on branding and so forth.
Oh, that's great.
I have been followed on Twitter by several media personalities as well as regional elected officials.
Gotcha.
Because some of the tweets that I post, they are finding very interesting now. I will say, I don't fit into a box.
Gotcha.
I am not liberal, although many of my thoughts may align with those that people may consider liberal.
Yeah.
I'm not conservative. I am a people person.
Gotcha.
I am pro-people.
Gotcha.
So my thoughts, my issues, my concerns that I share, that I voice, my opinions on, are about people. It's about the development of the people. It's about the development of the community. It's about the development of this country.
Gotcha.
And we can't have that unless we have these issues out on the table. We talk about it. It may sting. It may be painful up front. Let's get the pain out. You know what? Get the shot in the arm.
There you go.
You don't have to worry about the measles later.
Exactly. I love that. And it's something, one more thing I want to mention is you're creating this YouTube page and Facebook page. Are you still working on it? Can you give us the name of the pages? Can you give us the handle so people can start to follow you? Because I think I've seen a couple of them. They're really funny to me, and it makes you think,
So the YouTube page is Straight No Chaser Talk.
Okay.
It's STR, the number 8.
Okay.
No Chaser.
Gotcha.
Talk, TALK. That's the YouTube page. And the Twitter account is Straight No Chaser Talk, STR8NO, Chaser TLK.
Gotcha. How did he remember that? That's crazy. That's insane. But no, that's good, because I think a lot of people will appreciate your commentary. Seriously, we had such a big response, so keep it going. That's what we ask. Keep it going.
And just one quick note. One of the things I found through my Twitter account is the issues that plague, I shouldn't say plague, but the issues that affect us here in Chicago are affecting people in Columbus, South Columbia, South Carolina,
Yeah.
New York City. So these are issues that people can relate to on a national scale.
Exactly, and I think that's important too. It affects everyone, and I think that you're bringing illuminating this lately, which I think is something we need more of. So thank you as always. Thank you for coming back. All right, so we here at the 30 decided to sift through the hours and hours worth of footage to bring you our top 3 moments of the show. Now, our number 3 moment was a former contestant on The Voice. It was a student here at Columbia. Now I'm talking about Ayana Janae. She was featured on our special 2 seasons ago. Her performance captivated our live studio audience and viewers at home. Let's relive our number 3 moment.
Told you you won't. Well, I'm here to tell you they can move around and get gone. Who told you you can't fly? Who told you you can't touch the sky? Well, I'm here to tell you that's a lie. 'Cause when you have faith and determination, your dreams are your obligations. Don't fall into the devil's poison of fear today. Just burn it all away. I said, bye.
Our number 2 moment was a guest who performed on Ellen after going viral. She is from California, but mesmerized an entire nation. Super Bowl weekend is when it happened last year. Now, we talked to the UCLA Bruin, Sofina De Jesus, and here is part of that interview. Check it out.
Amazing, such an awesome experience. I've gone on the Ellen show, which was super fun, got to meet her for the 2nd time in my life, and so that was great. Then I got to meet my idol, Twitch, my dance idol, so that was an amazing experience. And then Chris Brown, we shared my video on Facebook, so a lot of awesome things have been coming out from my viral routine, and now I get to talk to you.
We thank Ayana Janae and Sofina De Jesus for being on the show. Much love to you both, and good luck in your respective futures. Much more next.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
We welcome you back. So look, we know this isn't a nationally syndicated talk show seen by millions by any means. We get that. But we've had guests on this show who are stars on television. Millions worldwide love them. Now, before we leave you here for the last time here at the 30 decided to choose 2 TV stars as our number 1 best moment. Let's take a quick look back at my star-studded interviews with Empire's Jussie Smollett and Insecure's Issa Rae.
That needed to happen in order to really explain what's happening in the second part of the second season, which is what happens when a mother goes away to prison for 17 years. You know, what are the true effects of that on her family?
Talking to Issa Rae about her new HBO series, Insecure. Created awkward black girl. Did you think it would catapult you to where you are today?
No, I was doing it to put an alternative image out there, and I did it knowing that my friends and family would enjoy it, or hoping rather, but I didn't imagine that so many people would relate to it and that it'd lead me to HBO. No.
Well, that's it. I've given you advice, I've given you laughs, but more than anything, I hope I've given someone out there an inspiration, someone to look up to. Now, I, for one, can say these past 3 seasons have left me more confident than ever about the path I've carved for the future. Now, as I graduate and leave Columbia in a few weeks and leave Chicago soon after that, I'm more confident than ever that both Columbia and my city will be great. I ask everyone watching this to be an inspiration during a time where dreamers can't dream, and break down barriers during a time where walls are threatening to divide us all. Now, someone once told me what I'm about to tell you. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.